Hey guys, welcome back to Ashmore Breedem. And today on the homestead, it's in the mid 40s right now. It's a little bit after 7 a.m. and we need to get out here and we need to take the frost covers off of our plants. So I'm going to take you guys around and I'm going to show you how we do this. I'm going to show you the status of all of our plants that we have currently in the ground. It's been in the low 30s for the last 2 days. We've had frost warnings, so we had to get stuff covered up. If you don't, you're going to lose your crop. So let me show you what we've done. Right here, we have our lettuce and onion bed. Now I built these beds 2 foot tall, and they are roughly 20 foot long and 3 foot wide. So if you don't get your lettuce covered up, it's not that big of a deal when you're dealing with frost. But I like to go ahead and get it covered up so you don't get this. Let me bring you in here and show you a little bit. There was one day we didn't get all these. These are the first ones we planted. If you don't get them all the way covered up, you might get a little bit of frost nip here on the edge. And don't worry about these lettuce leaves turning red. That happens when the anthocyanins oxidize due to cold weather. That's perfectly natural. That's not really a big deal. It doesn't really affect the flavor or the texture. Now, if you get a real hard freeze and it freezes it solid, that will affect the texture. But these cold temperatures are not going to affect your lettuce, which is a cold crop. So we're just going to unwind these frost covers. I usually just keep mine rolled up. These guys have been lacking sun now for 2 to 3 days. So we need to get them some sunlight. It's supposed to be mid 60s today. So we're going to get them uncovered and get them some sunlight. They should perk right up. Now we've got roughly 250 onions here. 250, 270 onions that we got planted. And they'll produce a nice crop. I might have to go through and thin them out and move a few of them, but I'm not too worried about that right now. But our lettuce here, that's looking pretty good. We like to succession plant. So this row was planted first. Then we planted that row a few days later. And then that row a week later. And then so on and so forth as we go down the line. And you also see, that's why I left a little bit of space here so I can add a few more rows of lettuce. It looks like my dog found a bottle. Now, we come over here to our berry barrels. And what we're going to do with these today is I got to get all these clips off and get this uncovered. I'm going to put you guys on hyperspeed because that's going to take me several minutes to get this done, but I'll bring you right back. Okay. That time lapse took about 6 minutes to film. But this right here is why we wanted to get our plants covered. This is a Patriot blueberry. And you see these blooms right here? The frost would have killed those off. And our other blueberries are blooming too. And so are strawberries. This is an Everglow variety. You see we got blooms down there. In order to protect our crop, that's why we had to get stuff covered up. And if you don't get them covered up, anything that's bloomed out, that's real delicate tissue, that's going to die off. This is one I replanted. And we got blooms. This is our early strawberry. And our daughter really likes to come out here first thing in the morning before school and she will pick all the berries that are ripe and ready, and then she'll go get dressed and ready for school. So I'm looking forward to having these barrels full of berries for her this year. This is a barrel full of yarrow, white yarrow. This is a medicinal plant. Um, this I did a video on this before, and let me tell you something. Here recently, our dog went running through the woods, and she ended up catching a briar or a piece of barbed wire or something in her ear. Well, there's a lot of capillaries in the ear, and it bled a lot, and I mean a lot. Well, I couldn't get it to stop with just pressure, so I actually had some dried and powdered yarrow that we had made a couple years ago, and I put some of that in a bag, and I took it outside to her, and I used that to stop the flow of blood, and that worked phenomenal. It has been used since ancient times to stop blood loss, and I'm glad I had some powdered yarrow on hand. So I will definitely be dehydrating more of that this year. Then we come over here. We got more strawberries. A real happy dandelion up there. I'll harvest that for its root here soon. This is, let's get around here. This is one of our bush cherries. This is a Juliet. This is a Romeo. I got a Wowza cherry right here. And then we come up to our gold raspberries. Now, let me tell you a story about these raspberries. This raspberry was 25 cents at the discount bin at the box store. I brought it home and looked at it and was able to salvage quite a bit off of it. And from that 1 25-cent plant, I was able to produce several hundred starts. Let me show you what we got under here. There's another one, and it looks phenomenal. There's 3 more in there. It looks absolutely phenomenal. Now, what I'll do is I'll go out and I'll trim back all these fluorocanes, nip all those off down at the ground level, and I'll get the rest of them separated out. This is our Aurora and our Borealis honeyberries. These are like a elongated blueberry, but they're not near as finicky as blueberries are. Whereas with your blueberries, you see this plant right here is absolutely loaded this year with blooms. Blueberries need a pH of roughly 4.5 on the pH scale to produce a healthy, vibrant crop of blueberries. Honeyberries, they're not near as finicky, so I don't have to be out here testing the soil pH and making sure that the pH is low enough for them to produce. Like with the blueberries, where I got to be out here 3 times a year, definitely. I got to acidify the soil. We mulch in with pine needles that just holds moisture in. When it does break down, it does add some acidity to the soil, but not enough to really count on. So I use the pine needles more as a mulch than as an acidifier. But these honeyberries, you can have a pH range anywhere from 5 to 7.5 or 8, and they're still going to produce berries for you. So that's one thing we really like about them. And they're just now starting to take off, and that makes us happy. But I have plans on what I want to do with our berry barrels. I just haven't got around to doing it yet. With me being incapacitated for almost 2 years because of an injury, that really set us back. But let's go take a look at the big garden now, where we have cabbages and broccoli. Now, I have an idea what I'm going to find under the broccoli. I saw a groundhog out here the other day. Something else I want to show you guys. This is part of our. Oh, there's the happy dog. Hey, Storm. Yeah, happy dog. This is part of our home apothecary. We have mint, spearmint, mint. We have hyssop and sweet leaf bergamot. And we had stevia planted in that barrel. And I had to cut out a couple of willows that were growing in that barrel. That's okay. We have oregano, and down there on the end is marjoram. Then we have our St. John's wort. We got lemon balm over here. And this is horehound. Now I've got enough of this now. I need to make some horehound throat lozenges, and I might do a video on that if there's enough interest. Then we got thyme over here, tarragon down there, and this is our basil, and I let it go to seed this year. See if I can get some of this. I let it go to seed this year, and I'm pretty sure it's going to self-seed it because I didn't collect hardly any of it. Sorry, I didn't collect hardly any of it. And I'm looking, and there's not many seeds left in these seed pods. So if that's the case, that'll be okay too. I'm not going to complain about it self-seeding. That's just one less step I got to take. So let me take you out here and show you what's next. We got a makeshift fence right here out of some old tomato cages until I can get a proper fence built. Okay. All right. I'm going to set you guys down for just a moment. Stand by. Well, it looks like cabbages are doing good. It appears I've lost 2 cabbages being nipped off. Cabbages are looking good though. I have to get those replaced real quick. It's looking good. And then over here, we've had quite a bit of loss from Mr. Groundhog, that little rascal. Got 1 broccoli there. There should have been 1, 2, 3, 1 right there, 4, 5, 6 more in here. So I guess he's been eating pretty well. I might have to get an electric fence up. I just haven't done that yet. But the broccoli's looking good. I'm excited the way this looks. You know, these are cold weather crops anyway. They don't necessarily have to be covered up. But that broccoli is looking good. That's what we have going on our homestead right now. Is everything's starting to wake up. Everything's starting to come out in full bloom. I have acidified and fertilized all the berries. These guys out here have been, it's kind of been a fight because of the weather, and we've gotten so much rain. I'm hoping that they haven't had too much rain and have wet feet, because that's never good. You end up with root rot, and so not much I can do about that right now. But we're just taking off the frost covers off everything that we've got, and hopefully we protected enough of the blooms that we're still going to get a crop on our cherries and blueberries and strawberries, our early strawberries. Now the other variety of strawberries we have, the Whoppers, those will come in mid-June-ish, late June. This early variety comes in May. So And that's one thing too. When you set up your homestead, you want to look at varieties of fruits and vegetables that come in at different times of year. That way you don't have peak ripeness of everything you have all at once. So with the varieties of fruit we got 42 fruit trees roughly now. With the varieties of fruits that we have production of fruit from the end of April all the way into December. So every month we're getting something, and that's nice. That's what we wanted. I guess you can call it permaculture, but it's really not set up like that right now. But folks, we're getting there, and I like the direction we're heading. And this time of year is beautiful, where everything's starting to wake up, and we got the buds and blooms on our fruits. We got vegetables in the ground. Got a whole lot more vegetables in the grow house right now. So until next time, folks, thanks for watching. We appreciate it, and give us a like, share, and subscribe. It gives us the motivation to continue to do this. We haven't been growing very fast, and there's a lot of hard work that goes into setting up these shots and editing these videos. So if you would be kind enough to give us a like, share, and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Till next time, thanks for watching.